U.S. Senator Charles E. Schumer held a press conference today at PS4 in Arden Heights to introduce legislation that will allow for schools across the state of New York to test their drinking water for levels of lead contamination.
Flint, Michigan made this national headlines, but Flint, Michigan isn't the only place where there's lead in our water supply. You know, wherever we have old water structure, lead can get into the pipes. The more we can do to stop lead from being in our pipes, the better. And we do not nationally require testing. So I am here today because I've introduced legislation that would fully reimburse our New York City school system and all the schools here on Staten Island for the cost of testing for lead.
We spoke to parents picking up their children at PS4 today. The school was one of 35 schools that had elevated levels of lead after New York City conducted tests.
Well, at first I was a little upset because we didn't really find out until I felt like it was last minute and it was already, the processes had already begun. And, you know, I hadn't sent my son to school with bottles of water or anything, so he was drinking from the water fountain in gym, at lunch. So I didn't really know the extent of the lead. So at that point I was a little upset, but then, you know, they sent us home letters, and after that then I started sending him home, sending him to school with water bottles, and they have a big water tank in his class too. So I felt at that point it was better.
We give them bottled water, so this way we can not have to worry about it and just tell them not to drink out of the fountains. Nothing more that you could do than that.
Parents were notified of the lead test results in a letter that was sent home. The school was initially tested for lead on March 22nd of 2016, and out of 148 samples collected, 19 showed elevated levels of lead.
I did call my pediatrician when I was concerned about the news that there might be lead in the water, and he said there's really not that much of a concern unless the levels were really elevated or unless the child was actually drinking out of the lead pipe. There's not really a major concern, so I wasn't really concerned. And the school really took action. They shut down everything in time. They notified the parents ASAP, and everything was in order.
According to city officials, a flushing protocol was implemented at the school, and plumbing and fixtures that tested positive were removed and replaced. As of April 7th and 8th, the water was retested and there was no elevated samples of lead. Schools that were found to have elevated levels of lead will be retested 6 months to a year from the time the lead was found. Reporting for SI Live, I'm Amanda Steen.